Welcome to A Kind and Gentle Word. I'm Jordan, and tonight we are reading Chapter 6 of Esther. We're deep in the story of Esther of Susa. Esther, one of the most brave women in the Bible. And if you're new to this story, I encourage you to go down into the description below and start with Chapter 1. But if you'd like to just continue on with Chapter 6, let's get into it. Esther, Chapter 6. That night the king could not sleep, so he ordered the book of the Chronicles, the record of his reign, to be brought in and read to him. It was found recorded there that Mordecai had exposed Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's officers who guarded the doorway, who had conspired to assassinate King Xerxes. "What honor and recognition has Mordecai received for this?" the king asked. "Nothing has been done for him," his attendants answered. The king said, "Who is in the court?" Now Haman had just entered the outer court of the palace to speak to the king about impaling Mordecai on the pole he had set up for him. His attendants answered, "Haman is standing in the court. Bring him in," the king ordered. When Haman entered, the king asked him, "What should be done for the man the king delights to honor?" Now Haman thought to himself, "Who is there that the king would rather honor than me?" So he answered the king, "For the man the king delights to honor, have them bring a royal robe that the king has worn, and a horse the king has ridden, one with a royal crest placed on its head. Then let the robe and horse be entrusted to one of the king's most noble princes. Let them robe the man the king delights to honor, and lead him on the horse through the city streets, proclaiming before him, 'This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor.'" "Go at once," the king commanded Haman. "Get the robe and the horse, and do just as you have suggested for Mordecai, the Jew, who sits at the king's gate. Do not neglect anything you have recommended." So Haman got the robe and the horse. He robed Mordecai and led him on horseback through the city streets, proclaiming before him, "This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor." Afterward, Mordecai returned to the king's gate, but Haman rushed home, with his head covered in grief, and told Zeresh, his wife, all his friends, everything that had happened to him. His advisers and his wife Zeresh said to him, "Since Mordecai, before whom your downfall has started, is of Jewish origin, you cannot stand against him. You will surely come to ruin." While they were still talking with him, the king's eunuchs arrived and hurried Haman away to the banquet Esther had prepared. So one of the reasons why I actually chose the book of Esther right now, to go into a chapter by chapter each night so that you can just take in scripture, take in her story. There's a lot going on in the world in regards to the Jews, the Jewish people, God's chosen people, and Palestine and all those things. And I just wanted to kind of like bring more understanding to the Jewish people and like where their story has begun. I mean, this is not the beginning of the Jews' story, but it's hard being God's chosen people. Let's put it that way, especially for the Jews. We're going to go into scriptures for anxiety, and I just want you to breathe, because God is in control. No matter what the results are of today's election, God is in control. And I know that's like really hard. And, oh, hello. Okay. That's really hard to take in, but Philippians 4:6-7. Do not worry about anything, but in everything, with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So I want you to really hear that. It's okay to worry. It's okay to be anxious. And all of this is going to keep coming at us. All the stressors of life is going to continue to come in and hit you upside the head when you least expect it and when you're expecting it. But instead of allowing all of that to just crush in on you, hand it over to the Lord. Allow Him to be your peace. Acknowledge that you're stressed, and let God know. He already knows, but He wants you to talk to Him about it. And in speaking to God about it, it just takes a little bit of that pressure. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. It's really difficult to be still. Even more difficult to be still and acknowledge that God is in control. No matter what happens today, tomorrow, or even halfway across the world, He is in control. So take that moment in, breathe in God's presence, and just exhale away the outside world, just for a moment. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. So just imagine that you're gathering all of that pressure, all the stress in your chest, your brain, your body, all the muscles that are all clenched up like fists. Just gather it all up and just toss it into God's arms. He's waiting for you to just toss it at Him. He's ready to catch it. Just allow all of that to fall away because God cares for you and He wants to be your peace. Remember to be kind to others and gentle with yourself, for we are all a work in progress.